But man, when you start talking about people's deceased parents, you crossing a line that's hard to come back.
I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up. Go dig her up.
First off, you gotta understand where King coming from. That's his mama, man. You can't be out here playing with a man mama and think it's just gonna be rappers rap. King of YN, he got that fire in it. And he let it be known he ain't going for none of that.
Not love. You rich, but you not love. Money means nothing without no one to spend it with. Your son don't love you.
Nobody expected this to spiral the way it did. But once it started, there was no slowing it down. Out of nowhere, 50 Cent lit a match that set off a reaction nobody saw coming. And the first person to snap, King Harris. He jumped on live, energy high, voice sharp, and it felt like the whole internet leaned in at the same time. Then just when people thought it couldn't get louder, Boosie Badazz stepped into the mix with his own words, adding even more heat. Now suddenly, this wasn't just random back and forth anymore. This turned personal fast. So here's how it unfolded. There are certain lines in hip-hop that most people understand without needing to say them out loud. You can clown someone's music. You can joke about their outfits. You can question their numbers, their style, their moves in the industry. That's regular rap talk. It's competitive, it's loud, it's messy sometimes, but it's part of the culture. But there's one boundary that's been around since the early days. No matter how wild things get, family is usually off limits. You keep it between the people who actually have the issue. You don't drag in someone's partner. You don't drag in their mother. That's just how it's been handled for years. On February 22nd, 2026, though, 50 Cent made a move that many people felt crossed that line completely. What had been a tense but typical exchange between him and T.I. suddenly shifted into something way more uncomfortable. For weeks, 50 and T.I. had been trading shots online over versus battles and old accusations about loyalty. Nothing shocking there. Two grown men talking slick on social media. It happens all the time. Most people figured it would cool off eventually. But then 50 went on Instagram and posted an unflattering photo of T.I.'s wife, Tameka "Tiny" Harris. The caption? It wasn't subtle. It wasn't playful. It came off like a direct attempt to embarrass her in front of millions of followers. The tone basically suggested she should stay out of it, but the way it was delivered felt harsh, and that's when everything flipped. King Harris saw that post and didn't hold back. No waiting for his father to respond. No family sit down, no behind-the-scenes call. He went straight to Instagram Live and let his feelings fly. You could tell he felt protective. You could tell he felt disrespected. And once he started talking, social media froze to watch. But here's where it got even heavier. King didn't just defend his mom. He went straight for something deeply personal in 50 Cent's life. He brought up Sabrina Jackson, 50's mother.
I want to say something about my mama. Your mama dead as Your mama dead as Go dig her up. Go dig her up. Picture of your mama. She dead. Pay respect. Stop playing with my mama. Playing like that. Going like that. How y'all raised? I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going about my mama. I'm not going. So tell your dead mama dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my mama.
Who tragically passed away in a house fire when he was a child. That's not just some random detail from 50's past. That's something that shaped his whole story. When King mentioned that, the energy shifted again. This wasn't playful. This wasn't marketing. This was raw emotion spilling out in real time. Now people are split. Some are saying 50 opened that door first by involving Tiny. Others feel like bringing up someone's late mother takes things to a whole different level. Either way, what started as regular rap tension turned into something deeply personal. And once it reached that point, there was no pretending it was just entertainment anymore. That loss wasn't just a random chapter in 50's life. It's widely seen as the moment that shaped everything about him. And King Harris went straight at it without blinking. The young voice out of Atlanta wasn't slowing down either. Once he started, he kept the same pressure the entire time. No softening it, no stepping back, just raw emotion pouring out live while thousands watched in real time. There was no filter at all. It wasn't polished. It wasn't strategic. It felt like pure anger spilling straight from his chest. He basically told 50 that if he wanted to play the post somebody's mom game, then he should post his own. And then he pointed out that he couldn't because she's no longer here. That kind of statement shifts the temperature instantly. Conversations stop. Group chats freeze. Even people who love drama had to pause for a second. King kept repeating one core message. He wasn't raised to sit quietly while someone disrespects his mother. In his eyes, This wasn't rap beef anymore. This was about family. He made it clear he stands 10 toes down for the woman who raised him. He even referenced being raised by T.I, almost like he was saying, I move different because I was brought up different. That wasn't subtle. That was a warning shot. A message not just to 50, but to anyone around him. The tone was basically, you stepped into the wrong lane with this one. But King didn't stop there. He turned toward another sensitive area that's been public for years. 50's strained relationship with his son, Marquise Jackson.
Straight like that. Your son don't love you. You don't got no family. You not loved. You rich, but you not loved. Money means nothing without no one to spend it with. Your son don't love you. I don't play by my mama. At the end of I don't play by my mama. I'm just how I'm raised, nigga. I wasn't raised by y'all father. My dad is TIP. Tip. That's how I'm raised. I don't play like this.
That situation has unfolded online for a long time, with comments, interviews, and back and forth moments that people still talk about. King leaned into that narrative heavy. He implied that all the success in the world, the money, the TV shows, the film deals, doesn't mean much if your personal life isn't solid. He painted this picture of achievements not filling an empty space at home. That's not playful teasing. That's psychological territory. That's aiming for impact. Some people online felt like King crossed another boundary by going there. Others argued that once family was brought into the conversation, nothing was off limits anymore. Either way, the energy was way past music at that point. And here's where it took another turn. On February 24th, 2026, King didn't just talk on live, he went into the studio. He recorded a full diss track and dropped it on major streaming platforms under the title Man. That move showed he wasn't just reacting emotionally, he was ready to turn it into music and let the public judge for themselves. Now the question isn't just who said what, it's whether this stays online or keeps escalating in ways nobody expected. The visuals only made it louder. The Man video dropped and it wasn't subtle at all. Shot inside a dim parking garage packed with foreign cars, King Harris stood front and center in a red hoodie and beanie, delivering his bars with zero hesitation. The energy felt tense, almost like he was proving a point with every line. At one moment he rapped, "Speaking on my mama, I tell Chaz, ring the alarm, probably cross his legs and fold his arms." And the way he said it, he meant every word. No smiling, no joking, just straight delivery. Then things escalated even more. King pulled up an old NSFW image of 50 Cent holding what appeared to be an adult toy. He posted it on his story and added the hashtag #NoAI, basically making it clear he believed the photo was real. That move alone had timelines spinning. Some people were shocked. Others said it was just retaliation. Either way, King had officially chosen the no-holds-barred route. Social media couldn't look away. Every clip, every lyric, every screenshot was being reposted within minutes. This wasn't just a diss track anymore. It felt like a full-on statement. And whenever something this intense unfolds in hip-hop, everyone suddenly becomes a commentator. Artists, fans, people who barely follow rap but love drama. Opinions were flying everywhere. But there was one voice many were waiting to hear, Boosie Badazz. Boozie isn't known for sugarcoating his takes. He's someone who has openly spoken about his past, his time in the Louisiana prison system, and the street principles he says he lives by.
You got 50 Cent posting pictures of Tiny on his Instagram, trolling her, telling people to keep his name out their mouth. 50 been a menace on the internet since the internet, we know how he do. But King took it to a whole different level of disrespect.
So when he finally addressed the King Harris and 50 situation, people paid attention. The first thing Boosie did was acknowledge why King reacted the way he did. He didn't brush him off. He didn't label him reckless. He understood the emotion behind it. In his view, once someone speaks on your mother, that hits different. He basically made it clear that in most households, whether you're in the suburbs or the inner city, moms are off limits. That's not entertainment territory, that's personal. According to Boosie's perspective, the whole situation started spiraling the moment Tameka Tiny Harris was pulled into a disagreement that originally had nothing to do with her. In his opinion, that's when it stopped being playful rap energy and turned into something heavier. He broke it down like this. Once family gets involved, the regular rap battle guidelines don't apply the same way. It's no longer about clout or clever lines. It becomes emotional, and emotional responses don't always follow strategy. Now, Boosie did show respect for King standing up for his mother. He gave him credit for not backing down and for defending his family publicly, but then he shifted his tone. He made it clear that while he understood the reason behind King's reaction, he couldn't fully support the way everything unfolded. In his view, yes, 50 set things off by bringing Tiny into it. But once you start digging into someone's deepest personal losses and family struggles, the situation can spiral beyond music fast. And that's where this whole saga stands right now, caught between street principles, public pride, and social media pressure, with everyone watching to see who takes the next step. According to Boosie Badazz, this whole thing started with a spark that didn't need to be lit in the first place. Boosie kept it blunt. In his view, 50 Cent has built a reputation for dominating the internet for years. He's known for trolling, pushing buttons, and getting reactions. Boosie pointed out how 50 has gone at artists like Ja Rule, Rick Ross, The Game, and Fat Joe in similar ways. The pattern, at least from Boosie's perspective, is simple. Poke, wait for the reaction, then flip that reaction into content. That's the strategy people say 50 mastered long ago. But Boosie admitted something important. King didn't just react. He reacted with a level of intensity that even seasoned observers didn't expect.
Cause he felt like 50 was trying to play his mama like she wasn't a legend. Talking about, your mama dead as go dig that up. That's some heavy, dark shit to be saying. Telling a to go put flowers on a grave.
Boosie described it as a whole different level. And coming from someone who has said some explosive things himself over the years, that statement carried weight. In Boosie's eyes, King Harris was standing up for his mother, Tameka Tiny Harris. He was making it clear that she isn't someone to be dragged online for laughs or engagement. That part, Boosie respected. But then he shifted gears. Boosie replayed some of King's words during his breakdown, and even in the retelling, you could feel the heaviness of it. He basically said that once someone brings up a late mother in a rap dispute, the atmosphere changes completely. It's no longer about clever lines or online jokes. It steps into emotional territory where things don't cool down easily. And Boosie delivered one key point that many felt summed it up. There has always been a line. You can spar, you can clown, but once that family boundary is crossed, especially involving someone who has passed, the damage doesn't just fade away, it sticks. He also talked about something King may not have fully calculated in the heat of the moment, the experience gap. From Boosie's point of view, King was going at someone who has been navigating internet battles for over 2 decades.
You crossing a line that's hard to come back from. He telling 50 to put the music up and stop playing. If you ask me, it's a mess. You got the South Prince, in a way, T.I.'s son, going at a billionaire mogul.
50 doesn't always need to win lyrically. Sometimes he just turns the situation into viral content, a meme, a running joke, and once that happens, it's hard to shake. Boosie wasn't just speaking about social media either. He went further and warned about real-life consequences if things keep escalating recklessly. He mentioned that when emotions drive decisions, outcomes can spiral fast, and he spoke from personal experience. He even referenced his own son, Tootie Raw, saying he's already had serious talks with him and the family about how certain moves can lead to outcomes nobody wants. That wasn't hype. That sounded like a father who's seen hard lessons firsthand. Then, just when it seemed like things might calm down, another twist hit. Tootie Raw jumped into the conversation online, reportedly sending strong words toward King and telling him to stay in his lane. That instantly widened the circle. Now it wasn't just 50 and King. It became a next generation back and forth. And King, he wasn't backing down. He responded directly to Boosie, questioning why Boosie felt the need to step in at all. He challenged his authority to check him publicly, basically asking who appointed him referee in this situation. At this point, what started as a 2-person online dispute has turned into layers of pride, family loyalty, generational tension, and public commentary. And the more voices jump in, the harder it becomes to predict where it lands next. And just like that, the situation grew another layer. Now it wasn't just 50 and King going back and forth. Boosie Badazz and his camp were suddenly part of the conversation too.
It's been a menace on the internet since the internet started. We know how he do. But King took it to a whole different level of disrespect because he felt like 50 was trying to play his mama like she wasn't a legend. King was on there telling whoever he was talking to, presumably 50 or whoever siding with him, talking about your mama dead as go dig that bitch up. That's some heavy, dark shit to be saying. Telling a to go put flowers on a grave or dig them up to find a better picture.
The circle got wider and the tension got thicker. But here's where it gets complicated. Boozie hasn't exactly been a quiet supporter of T.I. in the past. In older interviews, Boozie openly accused T.I. of cooperating with law enforcement during past legal situations. He claimed there was paperwork. He used language that carries heavy weight in hip-hop culture. So when Boozie speaks on anything involving T.I., it's not coming from a neutral place. That's what makes his take interesting. Even with his own issues and past accusations toward T.I., Boozie still said 50 went too far by bringing family into it. So on one hand, he's critical of T.I. On the other hand, he's saying the line got crossed when Tiny was pulled into the beef. That balance, or contradiction, depending on how you see it, is why people paid attention. Now zoom out for a second. If you're watching all of this unfold and thinking, how did a Versus conversation turn into diss tracks, old family trauma being mentioned, and wild photos resurfacing? You're not alone. Because the road from let's do 20 songs each to where things stand now has been one of the strangest turns in recent hip-hop memory. And this didn't start last week. When Versus launched during the pandemic in 2020, T.I. made it clear who he wanted across the screen. 50 Cent. This wasn't a casual suggestion. T.I. pushed for it repeatedly. He believed his catalog could stand tall in a 20 for 20 battle. From his perspective, with over a decade of hits, Live Your Life, Whatever You Like, Swagger Like Us, Bring 'Em Out, Rubber Band Man, Big Things Poppin', he felt confident. He saw it as Atlanta versus New York energy, Southern legacy versus Queens dominance. It would have been huge. In 2020, T.I. even posted a long Instagram video directly challenging 50, referencing 50's 2007 sales competition with Kanye West as proof, in his opinion, that 50 didn't want that kind of matchup. He framed it like 50 wasn't eager for a catalog showdown, but 50 never bit. Not in 2020, not in 2021.
Honestly, what his wife got to do with anything? You know, the family thing, it's just weird. Them two brothers got a problem. It's like, all right, keep going at each other if that's what y'all gonna do. At the moment you bring somebody's family into it, it gets crazy. So I totally understand why King went off. You know what I mean? That's his.
Even when T.I. grabbed the mic at the Atlanta premiere of 50's series Black Mafia Family and publicly called him out in front of a crowd. And not in February 2026, when T.I. brought it up again during an appearance on the Nightcap podcast hosted by Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco Johnson. Every time the challenge came up, 50 responded in his own way. Instead of entertaining the music battle idea, he reposted old Crime Stoppers clips and alleged court-related footage, pushing the narrative that T.I. had cooperated in the past. He would caption things like, "Keep my name out your mouth," and "No Versus." That became the pattern. T.I. would bring up the battle. 50 would shift it toward the snitch allegations, and the cycle repeated. So when this latest round exploded and family got pulled in, it wasn't happening in a vacuum. It was years of tension layered on top of each other. What started as a musical standoff slowly turned into pride, reputation, and long-standing accusations. And now, with King Harris jumping in, Boozie weighing in, and social media amplifying every move, this situation feels bigger than a simple rap challenge ever was. At this point, it's not even about 20 songs versus 20 songs anymore. It's about respect, legacy, and who crossed the line first, at least depending on who you ask. For years, 50's strategy has been simple: reflect, troll, flip the narrative, and avoid the actual music battle. That's been the play. Memes, old footage, jokes, never really stepping into a straight-up song-for-song showdown. And honestly, it worked. Most people didn't know how to counter that kind of energy. But on February 22nd, things shifted. When T.I. sat down on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast and publicly said he had lost all respect for 50 Cent over the Versus back and forth, it hit different. That wasn't playful anymore. That was direct. Instead of just trolling like usual, 50 went personal. He posted a picture of Tameka, Tiny Harris, and that's when the tension exploded. T.I. didn't respond with a meme. He responded with music. On February 22nd, he dropped War. The next day, February 23rd, he followed it up with Right One, produced by Lil Kaylee and A.B. Wright. The second track came with sharp energy. T.I called 50 a neo-dispatcher, suggested he was small-minded, and even referenced 50's ex, Daphne Joy, in his bars. The tone was aggressive, focused, calculated. It felt like T.I was rapping with something to prove. The culture reacted fast. Charlamagne the God was one of the first major voices to weigh in. He leaned toward T.I.'s side, arguing that Tip hadn't disrespected 50 initially and that 50 made it personal for no strong reason. He also said he understood why King Harris reacted the way he did once his mother was mentioned, but not everyone saw it that way. DJ Akademiks took a different stance. He basically pulled out a scoreboard and gave the early rounds to 50. In his opinion, T.I kept pushing for versus while 50 attacked character.
To be honest with you, I got 50, I got 54 on you right now. It's not a good look for you, brother.
Which shifted the power dynamic. He also pointed out what he called a huge mismatch, a young rapper stepping into conflict with a billionaire mogul who's been playing this internet game for decades. That take didn't sit well with a lot of Southern fans. Some accused Akademiks of favoring 50 because of regional bias. The debate only grew louder. Then Joe Budden offered what many felt was the most balanced take. On his podcast, he praised T.I for responding with music. He said that going to the booth is actually the cheat code against 50, because 50's trolling thrives when people react emotionally online. But when someone responds with structured bars, that's harder to meme away. Still, Budden raised a serious concern. Once late family members get mentioned, reconciliation becomes almost impossible. That line, once crossed, is hard to uncross. Meanwhile, Angela Yee covered the situation on her platform and kept things relatively neutral. She highlighted how quickly King jumped in after Tiny was posted, but she also noted something interesting. 50 began quietly removing T.I-related content from his Instagram. To some observers, that looked like a strategic reset. To others, it felt like backtracking. Either way, what began as a versus challenge turned into layered drama involving music, pride, family, and public image. And now, it's less about who wins a battle and more about who crossed the line first, depending on who you ask. Even Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco Johnson, who helped spark this latest chapter by hosting T.I on their nightcap, had to circle back and react to how wild things got. On their show, they talked about 50's post involving Tiny, King's explosive response, and whether this whole situation was drifting towards something way more serious than just rap talk. They kept it entertaining, cracking jokes here and there, but you could tell there was real caution underneath it all. The tone wasn't just playful anymore. It felt tense. As of February 26, 2026, this is where everything stands. King Harris has momentum. His track Man is gaining streams. Clips are circulating everywhere. Meanwhile, T.I is still previewing new music aimed in 50's direction, keeping the pressure on through lyrics instead of posts. On the other side, 50 Cent has wiped his Instagram page clean of T.I-related content. Some say that's strategy, others think it's repositioning. But even with the cleanup, he's still finding subtle ways to stir the pot in the background. That's been his style for years. And then there's Boosie Badazz, who stepped in with his opinion and ended up catching heat himself, especially after the back and forth involving King and Tootie Raw. What started as commentary turned into side tension real quick. Right now, the entire hip-hop space is watching this unfold like a reality series nobody planned, but nobody can stop following either. The biggest question floating around in every comment section and podcast recap is simple. Once family gets brought into a rap dispute, especially late parents, where do you go from there? Because in this culture, disrespect can be part of competition, but some boundaries once crossed don't just reset with a handshake. There's no easy, let's squash it moment when things reach that level. No quick photo op fixes it. No simple phone call smooths it over. Once emotions get that deep, the aftermath lingers. And everybody involved, King, T.I, 50, Boozie, knows that this isn't just about music anymore. It's about pride, family, and reputation. That's why the tension feels heavier than a normal rap clash. Now, I want to hear from you. Who crossed the line first? Did this go too far? Or is this just the raw side of hip-hop playing out in real time? If you made it this far, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who's been following the drama, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. And don't leave just yet. Check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama you do not want to miss. I'll catch you on the next one.